Have you ever heard of a phone call that changed someone's entire life? That night, it wasn't an emergency number. It wasn't family or friends, it was a billionaire on the other end. And it all began with my twins crying on the floor. I collapsed that evening. My body, worn down by endless work and hunger, gave up. I fainted right there on the rug. My little girls, barely 2 years old, sat beside me, screaming, shaking me, their tiny hands desperate for me to wake. But I couldn't move. One of them, my Nia, picked up the old broken phone lying near us. She didn't know numbers, didn't know what she was doing. She just pressed buttons through tears. And somehow, she reached him. Far away, Marcus Reed, the billionaire nobody could reach without an appointment, was about to turn off his phone for the night. But something made him answer that unknown call. "Hello," he said, sharp and impatient. What came next stopped him cold. "Mommy, not waking up. Help, Mommy." A tiny voice cried through the receiver, followed by another baby screaming in the background. Marcus stood up immediately. This wasn't a prank. This was life or death. "Don't cry. Stay with me," he said firmly, while signaling his team to trace the call. "I'm coming. Don't let go of the phone." Within minutes, his black car pulled up outside my crumbling apartment. When he pushed the door open, the sight froze him, a mother lying unconscious, and two babies sobbing, one clutching the phone like it was the only lifeline in the world. For a man who lived in penthouses and boardrooms, that moment was something he could never buy. Raw humanity. He carried me in his arms, gave orders to his team, and calmed my daughters with a gentleness that surprised even himself. That night, he paid for everything: the ambulance, the hospital, the bills. But more than that, he stayed. When I woke up in the hospital, the first thing I saw wasn't a doctor. It was him, a stranger in a $1,000 suit, sitting by my bed, holding my daughter in his arms. "You fainted," he said quietly, "but your little girl saved you. She called me." I thought I was dreaming. A billionaire? Why would he stay? Why would he care? I felt ashamed, small, like my broken life was being exposed under a spotlight. But he didn't judge. He just kept coming back. I later learned his secret. He once had a daughter. She and his wife died in an accident years ago. Since then, his empire grew, but his heart went silent until my baby's cries broke it open. He wasn't there out of pity. He was there because something in those little voices pulled him back to life. Marcus helped us in ways I couldn't imagine: finding daycare for my girls, making sure I ate, helping me find a safer place. At first, I resisted. Pride is heavy when you've carried everything alone. But one evening, he looked at me and said, "You've carried enough. Let me carry the rest." And for the first time in years, I let myself breathe. Weeks passed, and Marcus didn't fade away. He became family. My daughters ran to him, called him Daddy Marcus, and he wore the title like a crown. One night, as I tucked Nia into bed, she whispered, "Mommy, I think God told me the number to call." Tears filled my eyes. Maybe she was right. Maybe that call wasn't random at all. People say billionaires live far above the world of ordinary struggle. But that night, a phone in the tiny hands of a crying child bridged two worlds. A broken mother on the floor, two helpless babies, and a man who thought he had lost everything. That call didn't just save me. It saved him too. And from that moment on, we weren't just strangers anymore. We were family.